Hey guys, it's Katrina from Daily Astrology, and today I want to talk about Saturn moving into Aquarius. So I have the chart pulled for Saturday night when Saturn went into Aquarius, and I want to analyze that chart because this is going to help us to understand the potential themes that we may be experiencing through this Saturn in Aquarius transit. But also, there's something else really important. Here's Saturn over here at 0 degrees Aquarius right now. This is the same degree that we're going to have the grand conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter later on this year. So, December 21st, 2020, that's also the solstice. So, that's really interesting. So December 21st, 2020, Jupiter and Saturn will have their grand conjunction over here at 0 degrees Aquarius. So having Saturn here right now, there's some sort of seeding, there's some sort of foreshadowing going on. The other thing, having them meet together at the 0 degree, that's a karmic degree. That's a very important degree. Similar to the 29th degree holding more importance, the 0 degree is very powerful when it comes to us moving into a new experience. So it's like we're experiencing something we haven't experienced before. So the other thing with Saturn that's important right now, as Saturn is just freshly into Aquarius, it also tends to really speak louder when it moves into a new energy. The first couple days can really reveal what the transit, what the purpose of the energy is going to be like. Okay, so there's a lot that we can be observing right now to get, understandings of what Saturn in Aquarius is going to be working towards. So, first off, I want to read that degree. I want to read the fixed star that is on that degree, because this is that 0 degree in Aquarius. This is where the grand Saturn-Jupiter conjunction on the solstice. Okay, so that's interesting. All right, so this is from astrocom.com, and it's on the fixed star Terra-Z. I don't know if that's pronounced right, but it's the Falcon. It's a fortunate fixed star, so that's good. And it says, spoil and plunder, imagination, strong passions, will, clairvoyance, fame, powerful mind. Okay, so there's these words. I feel like so many of them resonate. Okay, so we're all investigators in this time, but if we're trying to understand what's going on, okay, I would definitely say there's something around our imagination, because at this time when Saturn moved in, the moon over here in Pisces, which I see ruling our imagination, and Saturn is saying you need to take responsibility, okay? So regardless of what Saturn is doing in Aquarius, the energy of Saturn is always like, don't fucking cry about it. Don't fucking cry about it. What are you going to do about it? Okay? And I'm not trying to be cold. I'm being Saturn. Okay? That's just what it is. Saturn's energy is like, this is in your face. You didn't ask for this. You didn't want it, but here it is. This is your life. What are you going to do about it? You need to take responsibility for what you can change, what you can do. Okay, Saturn is always pressuring us to persevere, to put in the work. Okay, because what Saturn is pushing us to work towards is ultimate fulfillment. Okay, we're not going to be fulfilled in life if we don't really see what we are capable of doing on our own. And this isn't on our own. This is looking at Aquarius. This is looking at humanity. And so it's asking us to step up for humanity. It's asking us to pull together. This is looking at our communities. This is looking at our connection, our tribe. Okay, so there's a lot of energy that is pushing us to connect. The Aquarian energy also has to do with awakening. So Saturn may be saying, the awakening, the great awakening, the collective awakening is here. And it's like, this is tied into your highest aspirations that your soul came here for, to be a part of this collective awakening. Saturn is saying it's karmically time. So another thing that the Aquarian energy is about, the unconscious conditioning. Okay, so Saturn is putting the pressure on us to awaken to the unconscious conditioning. Now, this brings me back to the imagination, not the clairvoyance, the powerful mind. Okay, so to me, what I was saying earlier is there's something about Saturn saying, you need to take responsibility for this. You need to use your mind. You need to get a hold of your mind. You've been unconsciously programmed. Okay, so Saturn is saying it is time for humanity to awaken to the unconscious programming of our mind, utilizing our minds and the power of our minds, the power of our imagination. Okay? That this is something that has been conditioned, unconsciously conditioned. So Saturn is putting the pressure on us to get a hold of this and how we use our minds, how we use our imagination. Are you using your imagination to play out worst case scenarios? Because here's something that I've really come to learn. And I mean, believe me, I do it. That's why I know it. Okay, I definitely play out worst case scenarios. My imagination's off the hook. So, but I've also imagined all the great things, and like I'm always tripping out about how I create these things from my imagination. So what I've learned is when you are really in a situation like we are, okay, that you need to keep it balanced with staying completely present at times when your imagination starts to get the best of you. Bring it back into your now moment. And if that is not your reality, if those things that you are fearing are not actually happening to you in that very moment, then that is still in the quantum field of creation. You are looking at potentials. And just as that worst case reality is a potential, the best case scenario, things turning around, things happening in the best case, is just as much of a potential. Okay? If they are not completely in your face as your present reality, the worst case or the best case are equal. To really understand that and like to use that in times where you really find yourself kind of tripping, remember that you have power as a creator. And I think there's something around us really having to step into this. So, there's a lot to look out here. Clairvoyance, okay, the Mercury is in Pisces. There's something about us using our clairvoyance. There's something about us, our will and our strong passions. The sun's over here in Aries, which that really resonates with that. Spoil and plunder, to me, that's even like taking stuff. Things being taken. I don't know. Okay, so Aquarian energy also deals with science and technology. So not only does it deal with humanity and finding our tribe, to me it's very like this age of Aquarian type energy, brotherly love type energy. But also this could be talking about technology and science, and even bringing up 5G. With the Aquarian energy. Now, so the other thing that I see is really important is because here we have Uranus, and Uranus is squaring Saturn. Okay, Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. So that's speaking loudly. Uranus squaring Saturn. Okay, so Saturn is saying you need to step up, you need to do this work. This is moving you towards your highest aspirations. This is awakening the collective. This is bringing together communities, connecting people. You know, this is part of your highest aspirations. This is fulfillment. Okay, but it's squaring Uranus. And so this Uranus, it's like unexpected things, great awakenings. It's like showing us these things that we have been attracting, okay? So it's awakening us to these patterns that have been unconsciously attracting things into our reality. And this squaring Uranus is going to bring like the anxiety and the fear and like the fears of security, the fears of safety, okay? This is also... It's interesting because I always would, you know, in my mind, or I say this in readings too a lot, that like the downside of Taurus energy, and I always say like, it's like cave life, you know, where you're too afraid to get out of your cave. You're too afraid to leave your house. You're too afraid to open up. You don't trust anybody. You have too many fears, okay? There's something around that it's like it's breaking us free. It's trying to liberate us from these fears. Okay? So regardless, there's, you know, it's uncomfortable. This is uncomfortable energy when it comes to these unexpected things and these fears of our security, these fears of our safety and our survival. We're moving through a lot of unconscious conditioning and programming around these issues, around our safety, around our security, around our money, around our survival, keeping us closed in. So, the moon in Pisces during that time, that's definitely something to look at. And then Mercury completely working with the nodes, okay? So there's something very faded when it happens with our experience. There's something very faded with information that we are receiving. The moon is in Pisces, so this is really connecting us to our faith. This is really teaching us to surrender. There's a lot of transcending. As we are pulling back, as we are retreating, we are learning, we are picking up certain information, we are connecting with spirit, we are connecting with this higher connection. Let me read the moon degree. Okay, so the moon is on another fortunate fixed star, and it says, success in ventures, personal charm, movement to rich pastures, aviation, discovery of lost items, the star of hidden things. Bum, bum, bum. The star of hidden things. Things that are being revealed in very faded ways. So, another huge thing that is going on right now is this. Okay, here we have Jupiter, Mars, and Pluto all joined together. We made a big deal about Saturn and Pluto and the sun and Ceres because it was a fucking big deal. But this is a big deal. This is a big deal. This is expanding. Like everything is being expanded right now. Okay, so if things feel like, oh my gosh, this is really bad right now for you, if you feel like, oh, this is like hitting a high point, it is. It's like hitting a high point. This is like, okay, well, we need to take this up a notch. Okay, because the ultimate goal is the breakdown of these structures that were built into society that have been outgrown. And so things are happening in a way that is helping to amplify that breakdown, to expand it. They're more light. We need to see this more. Okay, more awareness is happening. So The other thing I want to talk about is this. Okay, so with Saturn entering Aquarius, the sun is in Aries. And the sun in Chiron, okay, they are squaring the nodes in Lilith. Lilith is here too. Okay, so the sun, this is our vitality. This is our health. We got to pay attention to that. This is also, okay, let's be honest. I'll read the fixed star. I already know what it is. And because this is, this fixed star was already activated by Chiron and Lilith. So it says laziness, self-destruction, nervousness, illness, inhibitions, and loss. So the sun does deal with our health, and it is talking about illness, nervousness, self-destruction. Okay, let's look at self-destruction, because we have this energy can really speak about self-destruction. Pisces can really speak about self-destruction. We have the moon in self-destruction. The moon and Mercury, to me, can bring a lot of anxiety. Okay, so there's something about information and how it's triggering our emotions in a way that is very self-destructive. Nervousness. Okay, so the sun being in Aries, talking about laziness, inhibitions, loss, self-destruction, nervousness. Okay, so it's squaring the nodes. So being in a cardinal square is about the discomfort that initiates change, that initiates action. So there's something around this. And remember, this is more than just Saturday. This is giving us a big peek into the future. Okay, so there's something about our soul, and it has Chiron here. So it's like we have this repressed power to heal. We are the wounded healers. This is helping us on a soul level. We are the wounded healers. This is pushing us through discomfort to act. And the Aries energy is acting in a way that is independent. Okay? This is not saying that you're not going to connect with the group. This is saying don't fucking wait for the group. You are the leader. That's the Aries energy. It's about leading the way. Okay? It's about courage. Courage is not without fear. It's that you're not going to allow the fear to stop you. Okay? It's about acting on our desires. It's about being a pioneer. Bravery, courage, strength, action, initiation. So things that are happening are pushing us to act. And when we act, we're moving things into a new direction. But there's something about us being the pioneer of this, and it's coming through discomfort. Okay, so with Chiron, yeah, it's the wounded healer. It's saying we have this repressed power to heal ourselves, to heal our own physical bodies. Okay, Aries is about the physical body. I'm not making this shit up. We have the ability to heal. There's this repressed power to heal our own physical bodies that this is pushing us to use. And then it's something like, okay, you're going to lead the way. And this is why I keep feeling like this is the time. The rise of the healers is pushing us to use these natural healing gifts and resources that we were born with through discomfort. You know, here's Saturn saying, okay, here's these things. What are you going to do about it? Well, I'm not quite sure. You know, and it's pushing us to awaken to what we can do. Using our mind, using our clairvoyance. You know, who knows? Our knowledge, I mean, shit, we all have ways. So, and that's something that Uranus and Taurus is trying to get us to awaken to. You have gifts, you have resources, you need to use this. It's awakening us to these gifts and resources. It's awakening us to these conditioned values and things that were never important to us, elevating our values, elevating our life and what truly brings meaning. Remember, Saturn moving through Aquarius is like, this is for fulfillment. This is for a higher fulfillment. Okay, so there's something about us leading the way as wounded healers, but let me finish off with the downside of the Sun Chiron, okay? Because that is a downside. It's squaring the nodes. That shit does not feel good. Pay attention to your wounded perspectives, okay? Because there could be something about that. It's saying self-destruction. Chiron is bringing up the most like sour of our perspectives and our attitudes, you know, or we're just like, okay, I was totally feeling it yesterday, like so bothered by something that happened that was so dumb, and like it was so weird that it got into my mind like that. And I kept trying to remind myself later, like, well, this is it. This is you being fucking, like pay attention to that, where you get in your mind and you're feeling all like, it's the betrayal, the rejection, that this is, I'm being, it's just like whatever allows you to feed that story in your head that takes you away from your own empowerment, the distraction. Okay, with the moon, with Neptune and Mercury and Pisces, it's saying it's easy for us to get into our heads in a place that is self-destructive, that is self-sabotaging. With Neptune there, it's like you're not even fucking seeing shit, right? We're going to be seeing things from our own victim mentality, our own wounded mentality, okay? So we're heavily going into that. And with the Sun saying, this is self-destructive. You need to transcend this. We're being supported to transcend it. But Saturn, this is going back to Saturn moving into Aquarius. And it's saying, you need to take responsibility for this powerful mind and how you're using your mind and how it's been unconsciously programmed to attract your reality. And this is us taking that power back. And so there's something about us going in to these wounds that have affected our passion, that have affected our strength. Okay, the other thing is, there's just so much. We could talk forever about this shit. With it being in Aries and it talking about will, Saturn saying you need to tap into your will. Wasn't it talking about strong passions as well? Strong passions. They've been wounded. Okay, and then Saturn talking about the will. Aries is all about the will. So there's something about our will, our passion, our mind, our clairvoyance, our imagination. These are things we are getting pressured to step up and use. All right, guys, sending you love.